talk about Divine Works Education and Training as part of the organization. Then we'll go into Potential, our hallmark program. We may talk about how it started or the origin of it, but we're gonna touch on some different details and aspects of it. Our goal and our mission is to empower humanity to realize and maximize its full potential. In order for an individual or a group of people to maximize their full potential, his or her, they first have to wake up. You see me shaking this up. It's not good. So what's gonna happen if I just take this top off abruptly? What's gonna happen? It's gonna explode, it's gonna overflow. When you feel bottled up and you wanna have a conversation, I wanna give you an outlet. The Potential Podcast, teaching kids, young people to think before they do. We got another extraordinary interview coming up with our state champion, Joliet Central's own Charles Walker. Stay tuned. It's coming to you in a couple weeks. Make sure you go to our YouTube page, like, subscribe, hit the notifications. Got some good interviews coming up. We're gonna highlight Mr. Walker, his journey of perseverance, dedication, commitment, sacrifice, and inspiration. Let's discuss winning the sectional title. What was going through your mind when you won the 215-pound title at the Class 3A Joliet Central Sectional? Did that moment change your perspective on your abilities?
I think that whole series, like just regionals and sectionals, it was just a big. I feel like coming into what everybody told me what I'd kind of be like. Like just waking up and just embracing it, just being everything and kind of dominating and just doing what I had to do.
Was there one person that encouraged you where it just stuck with you, or was it just a series of people?
I'd say a series of people, because it got to a point where everybody was just saying the same thing, where it was like, if that guy opens up, then I could do anything. And just believing that was everything.
When they were saying if you open up or if your opponent?
If I open up, like if I just be me.
Really? So you were closed off at one point?
I just wasn't, I'd say I just wasn't as confident in my abilities and just very calculated and controlled.
In my research about you, even being at the rally, I remember them announcing that you had only wrestled for 3 years in high school, or did you? Or
all 4 years.
You wrestled all 4 years?
Like freshman through senior year. Yeah.
Oh, but you were saying the COVID.
Yeah, it was off, yeah.
But it wasn't. So that wasn't a full year.
Not necessarily, no.
That's still what it is, though, because the 4-9 was 13 matches. Yeah, and to be 100, I'm remembering your stats now. 138 wins.
So all of those are mainly from sophomore to senior year. Yeah.
138 and 34.
Yeah.
See, I didn't already memorize it because it's just an astounding feat. And to go 50-2 in one season, that's crazy. Community support. How did the support from your family, your mom, and the Central community, Joliet Central, and your classmates impact your journey, especially during the state finals?
Just want to say that I'm not the easiest person to be around, especially in the sport of wrestling, where it's so tough mentally and having to watch weight and not being able to just eat off like whatever I want or just like indulge in certain things. It's really tough to discipline myself. So it's having people to like kind of like nudge me, and I got there's certain ways where you got to say it to me or I just react to certain things, and it's them understanding me and just helping me on this way.
Yeah, because my interaction with you, as I shared with you before, was the brother, like the swole brother. know he like to work out, but I don't know like exactly what he do. But I know whatever. When I noticed him, he always used to have a little sweat, like right in the middle. Like, yeah, he working hard at something. But I just didn't know. Did you work? Did you? Don't say it to my Joliet Central students or Joliet West. Do you dress for gym?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, God. He said, yeah. Do you work hard? Because I saw you a lot of times in gym, in the route, in gym class. Were you working hard at your craft during gym or?
100%, yeah. I was in strength training since my second semester of freshman year, and that's where I've gotten all my gains. Like I don't go to the gym outside of school. Like I focus on that time being my time to improve.
Mom, question for you. Because as parents, when our kids get involved in sports, it's just, or any type of activity, we already know this, we gotta really manage our schedule and theirs. Has your responsibilities for our schedule increased since he's experienced this type of success?
Oh, for sure. I mean, schedule it's always depending on whether Charles has practice or games or tournaments or anything. So, yeah, it's definitely increased, but it's just, part of being a wrestling mom.
Wow. And you seem to embrace that responsibility to the fullest.
1,000%, yes.
Is there anything that you could recommend to parents that may be struggling with supporting their child or young person, male or female, as far as extracurricular activities?
Only thing I can say is that there has to be some sort of expectation. I mean, you're going to expect to, be there early mornings, weekends. It's just preparing yourself for that. So, there's some things we may not be able to do because he has a tournament, or you have to get him somewhere early or drive somewhere far. It's just what it is. And everyone seems to be very supportive. His siblings are all very supportive. His sisters will come, his brothers come to some of his matches too. It's just, we're all just very supportive of Charles, and so it's just part of it. And as a parent, you should have to plan for it. You just have to make plans for it.
How many siblings you got, sir? I didn't know.
One brother and two sisters.
Okay, so y'all in the same household?
They're all gone doing their own things.
Oh, okay.
Like in the area though. Like
okay.
It's just me, my sister, my mom in the house.
He's the baby.
Yeah.
Okay, because I was asking because sometimes when you got a lot of household, navigate, man, you're in the bathroom too long. What's going on? So I wanted to see if that was an impact on you, but since you told me what the situation is, we'll go to the next piece of conversation. You and your coach, McGovern, discuss your aspirations after your junior year. How did your relationship with him evolve through your wrestling career, and how did his support influence your growth?
Man, that's my guy. That's my guy. Where we could just talk. That's his personality. Where he's nonstop talking, and I really appreciate those conversations because it teaches me so much about more than wrestling and seeing him. He's a dad. Just seeing that, which I really appreciate that because he put in so much time into me and the team, and just respect him a lot.
Awesome, man. Teachers, and he's a teacher at Joliet Central. So many of those teachers play that double role. They have classes that they teach, whether it be PE or whatever subject it may be. They may run a club or be in a sport. So shout out to my Joliet Central teachers and administrators for the great job that we do with our students, because us combining our efforts with the support of the parents produces champions. How did you and Mr. McGovern come to the conclusion that you were rock bottom him?
That was sophomore year, my first trip downstate. We were just talking like we do. He wanted that moment where we're just there watching wrestling. He really thought it was important for me to be there and to experience everything from that perspective, and like to gain me being hungry and wanting to envision myself out there. And I turned to him and asked, like, what would be my celebration? And he said, well, Charles, if we win, you can rock bottom me. And that was something I just kept in my mind. Like I'm gonna get that opportunity.
Yeah. So for those who don't know, when Charles won the state title, he had the opportunity to rock bottom his coach and teacher. You have to catch it. Maybe we'll put it in front of this when we introduce this episode. So he rock bottomed the man, right? And then did a cartwheel with a nice little backflip. I was like, this man. I watched it several times. These people are amazing. But it spoke to the relationship that y'all had. And Mr. P. And I noticed, like, when you was wrestling, they was really, like, yelling and encouraging. Like, because you know Mr. P, he kind of reserved.
Yeah.
But I know that he wrestled before, so that's connected to his passion. But when I saw how they encouraged you, it transcended color. It transcended color. It wasn't, at the time, it wasn't a black kid or a white teacher. It was just, that's our guy. We encourage him. We want him to be the best, not because we want any recognition or accolades. We want him to be successful just because we care about him. That's powerful stuff, man, because sometimes, we have a hard time maneuvering through that, and I saw it take place.
This book, How Black History Can Save Your Life, is the most important book you can read about black history and racism. And I'm not just saying that because it's my book. All right, okay. I am just saying that because it's my book, but I truly believe it, for real. People have read it. People have said great things about it. And let's be real, y'all. We exist in a time now where hate crimes are on the rise. The mental health epidemic that's impacting our kids is on the rise right now. Our history is being banned still. So we need to learn history, but not just in a typical classroom setting, but learn it from somebody who dealt with the hate crime and persevered through it because they were taught how to use black history in a proactive way. So make sure you buy How Black History Can Save Your Life right now, because for real, y'all, it's one of the most important books you can read on black history and racism.
The meaning of a medal after experience of just falling a little bit short in the previous years. How did it feel? How did it feel to know you were guaranteed a medal after your quarterfinal win?
I actually tried not to think about it. With everything, with like tournaments and stuff, I didn't really look at my bracket. I was just wrestling one match and just try to just not overthink it and get too big in the moment. Just wrestling at the end of the day.
Got you. What does this accomplishment represent to you personally as an individual?
Just really my belief kind of in the world, and just seeing like how you set your mind to something that it's 100% achievable. Like for myself, just seeing that the time that I put into watching people who got discouraged and fell off the wagon and didn't have the dedication like I did, and just seeing how it really worked out and paid off for me.
Mom, you shared previously about how that atmosphere was at the state tournament. Can you revisit that for me?
Oh, it was amazing. So where Charles is wrestling, you could tell that people were really rooting for him, because as he was wrestling, there were other matches that were going on, and you can tell that, he made certain moves that people like really encouraging and yelling. And then of course when he won and he rock bottomed the coach and did his flips and everything, it was just like, oh, rah, rah, and people were hugging me and shaking my hand. I mean, you thought I did something, but I didn't. But it was amazing. It was electric. It was really great.
Yeah. When I found out about his accomplishment, I found out about it on Facebook initially, and I hadn't been at Central in a while because of doing other community work. And when I got back that day, I always ask the staff, like, what's going on as far as events, and because the scheduling go off whatever events that's taking place there. And when I discovered that he won, I looked one of the administrators in the eye and I told that person, and we needed that as a culture, because athletic program, it's not where it was when I was there. When I was there, it was just, we won all the time, but it has taken like a decline, for various reasons. But to see you be an instrument of success and impacting that environment was amazing. So I never thought, when I first found out, I didn't think about interviewing you or nothing like that. But when I saw the assembly, and I think it was the day after, I think I got done that day working there. I'm like, I need to interview him. I could have asked his mom right there. But then when I saw you in the hallway, I'm like, oh, brother. Did he tell you how it happened? I was there and I saw him walk past. He didn't see me, and I probably tapped him, and he walked into Mr. Coatney's class. I said, oh, bro, I need to interview you. But of course, like follow protocol, talk with your mom and all that stuff. So shout out to mom for allowing that to happen. But I'm saying all that because it was a tremendous moment, and the moment brought everybody together. I remember when the Philadelphia Eagles won the championship. They used to be my team back in the day, and somebody was being interviewed about that. I think it was like one of the hip hop guys. I forgot. It's Wallow's partner on their podcast. Do you know his name? Gilly. Yeah. And I think somebody was asking Gilly or either one of the Philadelphia players about what a championship does. And one of them said, "Man, it brings people together," and that's what you did, man. It's tremendous because despite people's background, ethnicity, whatever nationality, it seems as though when we have a champion, male or female, athletically or academically or civil rights, whatever, it brings people together. So that's what your dedication is amazing. Any thoughts or you want to share?
No, not just off the top of my head now.
How you feeling so far?
Happy.
Yeah.
Grateful. Definitely.
We're probably at the midway point. I won't act like this is an AP exam or anything like that. But my other question that just popped in my mind was, how many times have you been interviewed?
Like, give or take 10 times.
Yeah.
Probably more.
What was your first one like?
It was, I think it was like after a dual meet, one of the reporters from Herald News came up to me, saying he was writing a piece on me and just asked for a couple words.
Gotcha. So do you feel like you're a veteran at it? Did you accustomed to it now? Or?
No, not necessarily. It's always like I got to like brace myself up for it, but it at a point it flows because it's just talking about myself at the end of the day.
When you get to the Olympics and win the gold medal and stand on the podium, how do you think you would feel?
Achieved at that point, yeah.
That's gonna be crazy. And I'm probably gonna cry when it happens, because that's what I do. Like when my students or my kids accomplish something, this waterworks. It's gonna be an honorable day to see you stand on that podium, with the gold medal. Like, yeah, it's gonna be. I think everything gonna come full circle. Like, man, this is amazing, man. So we'll be keeping you in our prayers because with what's the Spider-Man quote? With great power comes great responsibility. Yeah. With great success and power comes great responsibility. Let's see. State championship experience. I think we talked about what that experience was like. Can you walk us through the emotions you felt from the beginning of the match to your victory?
So thinking before that match, somebody who I wrestled with at JCA at the 190 division, he just lost. So I was kind of like, oh, that's kind of tough to see. Like just like a guy I'm familiar with, who's close to us to an extent, he lost, and then I just thought back to the moment, just being happy to be here. I was able to look up to the crowd, and I found my mom and my sister where they are, and in their matching shirts, and I just smiled, played my little soundtrack in my head, and just waited for the moment to come.
What's your soundtrack? What song is it?
In my head, I was listening to Riptide by Boy something.
Okay.
Thanks.
So you had a theme song. I think everybody does, whether they know it or unknown or don't know it. Mine is off of Avengers, but I got other ones that, like when I'll be transparent, because I'm a believer, as far as in Christ, but I'm still a person, right? One of my probably all-time favorite motivational songs is A Milli. A Milli by Lil Wayne. I come to school like, come on, let's go. You know, because as a teacher, for me personally, my responsibility is to impact lives. It's not necessarily just to teach a subject. My responsibility is to impact lives to where students, they can leave outside of the building equipped and understand their purpose and be motivated and understand an element of who they are. Because my high school experience was different. I didn't have that. So I went in, I was incarcerated in my mind, and it projected a limitation in my life. So that's why it's important for us to interview people like yourself, because your path is different. And I want young people to understand that your path can be determined by your environment, but you gotta have the right mindset. And as you see, Mr. Walker had the right mindset. He has support from his mom, he has support from other family members, and support from his community. But the thing that I catch from you is that it's never been about me. This is something that I love to do, and I use that to impact lives, you know, in a different type of way. Mom, what would be 3 words that you can use to describe your son?
3 words to describe Charles. Honestly, Charles is quiet. He's very intelligent. And even from when he was little, he was always very compassionate and liked to share. Like, he was very thoughtful. I think that's the 3rd one. Very thoughtful. Yeah. In that, you know, being the baby, you would think that, you know, he would be a little. Those are typically the ones who are kind of selfish. Not this one. Wow. Not at all.
So he transcended the stereotypical last child.
Yeah.
Not an ordinary person by far.
This is Potential. One of the reasons why we're in school is not only to get the academic skills, but also to get the skills so we can be successful in the building and outside.
To talk to each other, work with each other about making the right decisions. It was active, so we really loved it. So thanks for having us.
That means the experience that I have gives me the confidence to move forward. Let's go.
Legacy. I'm a legacy person. Potential is a legacy program. Legacy. Being the first Stillman state champion since 1998, like I told you, that was the year that I graduated. Barely. I crawled across the state. I didn't necessarily run across the state because of my academics and stuff. But being the first Stillman since 1998, what does that mean to you to add your name to that legacy? Because you know you're going to have one of them things, and yours probably going to be different. They'll probably dedicate one whole case to you. That's my recommendation, y'all. But what does that mean to you?
It definitely means a lot. Just how rich and how deep the history goes from JT, and to know the people and to meet the people who set that legacy, and to add on to it. I definitely see the worth in just giving back to my community and wanting to build on to not just my legacy and the JT legacy.
Do you know that you'll never be forgotten?
Yeah, that's something that's kind of weird to think about. You know, to think that people are always looking for the next Charles Walker in a sense.
Man, that's if we wasn't on camera, I'd probably cry.
Yep.
But yeah, like, you will never be forgotten. And it's sad, but it's both a reality at the same time. I don't think anybody is supposed to be forgotten. But sometimes when people don't realize their purpose and their destiny, and they live an alternative lifestyle of those two, people easily forget them. Like, man. But I'm saying you will never be forgotten on such a large scale because of your accomplishments. But then when people, like, that's why I asked Mom, like, what is 3 attributes of him? Because me, I want to know who you are as a person. I know who you are as an athlete to a certain degree, but who you are as a person can determine how much influence and impact you can really have. Because, but especially being an African American young man and having in this time and era, it being this is April 2025, and there's been a lot taking place this past year with African American men on a larger scale. To be able to interview somebody that projects just a sense of confidence but humility is amazing, man. Keep it going, bro. Keep it going. People are looking at you. Have you spoke to any like middle schools yet? Anybody asked you to come and encourage any of the kids?
Not since I went to state, no. But
Yeah.
Before I have, yeah.
Yeah, it's coming, man. Be ready. Be ready. How do you feel about being part of Joliet Central's wrestling history?
It's great. Every day you walk in the room and you see a big wall of all the names, and it goes all the way back to the 1940s of just history in wrestling and on guys winning. I always wanted to be on that list and be in gold and have my asterisk next to my name, because that means I won state and won sectionals.
Did you ever pay attention to that hallway of fame that we have?
Oh yeah. I mean, especially meeting people. Like through the years, I've met some of those people, and to understand that it means something to be known and belong with these people.
It really does, man. I know some of those people personally on the wall. I was there when they did it. Like one of my cousins, Deshaun Cage, he went to Joliet West, so he was a couple years older than me, but he stayed in the newspaper. But I didn't understand like the weight or the ramifications of who you actually connected to. You know, I believe as a community, we're all connected, not just necessarily by blood, but just by us being in the same community. And I believe we should support each other and not see each other's competition. But Charles, how do you do that? What was some of the attributes or some of the characteristics or methods that you used to become a champion? Really? I'm gonna take that and I'm gonna use it in my teaching. This is what Charles did. So it doesn't matter the age of the person, we can learn from anybody. That's what I try to always like reflect to my students or people that I'm working with in the community. Let's see. I got 2 more questions. Then I'll ask you a couple of wrestling questions, and then we'll wrap it up. Man, I appreciate you. And Mom, anything you want to share? Any thoughts or anything in you in general you want to throw out there for us?
No, just that I'm very proud of Charles's achievement. I mean, it's been a short time, him in his wrestling career, and for him to, achieve this, highest accomplishment is just kind of, I don't want to say it was just kind of like we didn't think it was going to happen. We absolutely thought it was going to happen. Charles definitely has you could see it. You could see the progression from the years of, and again, I'm not a wrestling expert or anything, but a lot of coaches would say, I see it if he would just believe it. He had mentioned that before. And I think he and I had a conversation to that point too, where it's just like, I see what they see too. I feel like if you, I guess they said open up, if you just would just accept it and just your potential, we all see it and we just need you to see it. And he did. And it was just like, oh my goodness. It was amazing.
What your mom just said, opening up. To basically opening up to receive that I can do this. What was hindering you?
Myself. Just a mental block, just that almost like I don't belong type thing. Where I've only been doing it for how long, and there's always like in the back of your head all the things that can go wrong. It's just that always for me clouded the what could go right, and just having to block that out and just listen to my coaches and just be a machine, how they say it, just work and just get it done.
You remind me and myself when somebody told me they can see me as a teacher. I was 24, because I started late as far as education, and that person said to me, Marcus, I can see you as a teacher. I said, no, you can't. I want to do other people's kids. But it was really me rejecting my purpose and destiny because I was using my experience to interpret the future. And so I relate to you because people were seeing it like, we see it, bro, but you gotta see it. And thank God that you saw it, because let's just say if you didn't, a lot of people wouldn't be inspired. It's not even really, for me, it's not even about only you winning the state championship, but it's about the impact that you have been afforded in 2025 and beyond. And so that's what I meant when I said to you, you would never be forgotten, because people gonna walk past and that's my cousin, or maybe if you have kids, that's my dad, or maybe a young African American male who doesn't believe that they can be all that they can be. Man, that brother did it. So it's like weighty that we have the ability, and you've been given the ability to impact people that you would never see. Like that's amazing to me. And my pastor taught me that a long time ago, is that you got to make decisions for people that you will never see. And when we get that concept, man, we'll make better decisions. So kind of closing it out, advice for young wrestlers. Based on your journey and the lessons learned through these challenges, what advice would you give to young wrestlers who may be facing setbacks or obstacles in their own careers?
Just double down on the extra work and on yourself. But what I think like about sports and everything is the work, and you kind of know what you need to do. Like people were like, why don't like in certain instances, like why don't I lose weight? Why don't I get better grades? It's like, you know what you need to do. You know, you need to study. You need to eat better. That's like wrestling too. Just wrestle.
Is it easier to do what you need to do in sports like wrestling versus academics?
After wrestling, no, I said I could just do anything. Like nothing compares. It's just focusing myself on doing it.
Yeah, because my thing is that if you went 50 and 2, like, come on, what's up? Let me get that AP exam, or whatever the exam may be. We always say to people that we can do all things through Christ who strengthens us. Not trying to promote Christianity or religion, y'all. I'm just speaking from my life experience. We can do all things through Christ who strengthens us. But it takes all of us to strengthen us. You know what I'm saying? So just having that understanding, and man, I was able to do this, but you know you're not doing it alone. There's people with you, and the deposit that your mom made in you is just tremendous, because it's probably some stories that she can tell you that you be like, wow, mom, you did that for us? You sacrificed? But sometimes we don't see that sacrifice, but we reap the benefits of it, you know, without knowing that it was there. It's something to think about. Thank you for that advice. I'm going to do a final reflection, but I'm going to ask you this question, because I'm seeing junior year experience, quarterfinal comeback, and semifinal success. Which one you want to talk about?
I think that the quarterfinal is the big one, because it leads up to the semifinal.
Okay. So facing a significant deficit against Caleb Bazek in the quarterfinals, can you walk us through how you remain composed and executing your strategy to come back for the win? What did that moment mean to you?
It was tough, just being there in that moment with the lights and everybody's watching. I know like everybody's watching. I'm on the mat, and just having a conversation with myself where it's like, do I sit down right here? Do I let this person win, or do I take this match and do I win? And that's what I wanted. I didn't stop wrestling. I just kept pushing, and certain things ended up my way. I mean, they were down 10-1. It was tough. It was scary for sure, but just sticking to, I know what I got to do, and there was still a lot of time, so the match wasn't over.
Mm-hmm. What did that mean? What did the win mean for you after you did?
Yeah, just another step closer to my end goal, and that was a big scare. But it's knowing, like, from there on, I want to dominate, and I want to just show everybody.
When you won all these matches this year, did you celebrate at all?
Not too big. Little celebration on the mat, then I go do my sprints, and then it's my hydrating.
Mm-hmm. Wow. And I say that because sometimes when we win, we like, to me, it's my opinion, we celebrate too much.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's okay to celebrate, but hey, what's the end game?
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to see what your perspective was on that question. But kind of me knowing your demeanor, you seem like I'm about business.
Mm-hmm.
You know, yeah, we won. Next match.
Mm-hmm.
Next match.
That's
Yeah.
exactly
See?
what it is.
Yeah, see, I watched you a little bit. I observed you a little bit.
Yeah.
And then, so that led us to the semifinals, right?
Mm-hmm.
So in the semifinals, you won decisively against Evan Jokic.
Yes.
How did you manage to maintain your momentum and focus on such an intense quarterfinal match?
That was a big one because he just knocked off the guy who beat me last year in the first round of state last year, and just seeing that was okay. Well, it didn't. I tried not to get too in my head, but it was okay. I'm in the finals at that point. There's nobody who could stop me and just doing what I want to do and doing what I need to do to get there.
How did you not let a formidable opponent with a great record intimidate you? Because I say that because sometimes I've experienced where an athlete, particularly a high school athlete, will get intimidated because they'll say, man, they ranked number 3 in the state. Man, they already lost the game before they played it because of comparison. Have you ever experienced that? And if so, how did you overcome it?
Oh yeah, my whole career, kind of taking up till my senior year, where I didn't really do that much. I mean, there was always guys ahead of me, and I definitely did that, putting guys on pedestals. But just the way I see wrestling now is if you stick to what you know, just even one move, and you confidently shoot that, I think you will win like most of your matches, and that's how I live my life.
Very simple. Stick to what you know and stay consistent with that. That's gonna help me. I appreciate that, brother. Thank you. Real talk. About that, like doing business, it's difficult for me because I'm a creative person. And being a creative person, you find yourself over here, over there, but this is where you're great at. Stay here. You may be good in all these things, but you great here. That's your niche. Stay there. So that's gonna help me when I'm at the computer. Like, I got this great idea. Charles said, focus and stick with what you're good at. Yeah. All right. Final reflections as we wrap up. What's one key takeaway from your wrestling journey that you would like to share with our viewers?
That it was worth it. I think every moment where I may be in the practice room, like ready to break down in tears, just because it's tough and it kind of sucks, and I didn't want to do it. There's times where I don't want to go to practice, you know, like on the weekend or during the summer, but it's definitely worth it to be in the position where I'm at right now, where other people see my worth and the work.
Yeah, man, I love your personality and your demeanor. I understand the athletic portion because people gravitate towards that, but I respect you, as an individual, and to have this be an opportunity to get to know you as a person. Man, athletics, yeah, that's the draw. But like really finding out who you are as a person is gonna help me and help the people, that's watching, whether they be principals, assistant principals, students, athletes. It's gonna help a lot of people. Mom, when can I say baby? When your baby is discouraged, what did you say to him, or what have you said to him?
So the last year when he lost?
Yeah, either year, yeah.
So when he lost last year was a tough loss for him, and I saw him get emotional. I was like, don't you dare hold your head down. You hold your head up. The achievement, I mean, we just started this, and we are here at state. Win or lose, you have accomplished a lot, and you should never hold your head down. I mean, it's, and I was hoping that he saw that, like, it was a tough loss, but it was just like, you deserve to be here. You've, all the blood, sweat, and tears. I mean, it was all worth it. I mean, I didn't see it as a big failure or a huge loss, I saw still as a huge achievement, and keep going. And that's what he did. You know, he was state champion. Just keep going. I mean, I don't think, you know, losses is part of it. You learn from all your losses. I think we also had that discussion too. You learn from your losses. He's always watching tapes of wrestling matches and learning, and his coach says that he's coachable. And I think all of that is all part of it. I mean, it's all part of it. There has to be some losses in order for you to achieve where he is now. There has to be. I mean, you can't just sail through. There has to be some grind and some extra effort that's needed. So I just thought it was part of it.
Thank you for that. What I gather from that is just to keep going.
Mm-hmm.
It can be so many obstacles that we perceive when they pop up externally. Just keep going, keep going. But I think for you, you had an end goal in mind. You had a supporter, Mom. Shout out to you, Mom. Thank you for what you do. You know, as an African-American queen, we appreciate you because we understand to a certain degree the difficulties of parenting and being in certain type of situations. So, man, shout out to moms. Mother's Day is coming up, so we got to get ready. My lady's birthday is May the 30th, and Mother's Day is in the May. She get the double whammy. But happy Mother's Day to you, in advance, Mom. We appreciate you. What will be one statement, quote, anything on your heart you want to share, you know, with the people?
One thing I read in a book, I said it said it's really easy to have a good life or to just be okay, but good or okay is the biggest opponent to greatness, and that stands in the way of greatness, and being contempt of the good life is ultimately like your biggest evil.
Powerful. Man.
Oh, you're not gonna make me cry.
Charles Walker, state champion, 215 pounds, 50 and 2. Joliet Central Stillman, potential. And as always, be great at what you do, but be greater at who you are.
See me shaking this up. It's not good. So what's gonna happen if I just take this top off abruptly? What's gonna happen? It's gonna explode, it's gonna overflow. When you feel bottled up and you wanna have a conversation, I wanna give you an outlet.